Are they ranked this year? So you tied them, that's good, that's huge. When we finish this one, let's go into that lizard stretch. I want you to kind of get that hip flexor going. Yeah, so the initial injury was the hip stuff that was going on. Hip, low back, there's a lot, it's complicated, right? He's had some surgeries, there's different video that went over all that type of stuff, but in general, there's some question marks on what exactly is going on. We pinned it down more toward a low back nerve thing, and there was a little bit of a hip component, but we're dealing more with that piece, and that presents itself in all different ways, but we got him to a point where he was actually playing soccer. He got to play in his first game he's ever played in, and then during a training session, he had a bad step and tore his ACL. So he's returning now specifically for the ACL, and this is something I mentioned to him today's session, was like, we're actually dealing with 2 injuries because that hip low back thing actually reared itself again. So we're on the tail end of getting him back to not feeling that, so we can refocus on ACL, but he was gone all summer. He worked with another PT out in Jersey. He was doing really well from an ACL standpoint, and then the week he started to come back here, the hip started to show up again, full force. So he was starting to, jogging at least, but he was having pretty much no issues. He was out in Turkey for a month too. He was training on his own. He was using some blood flow restriction. He was actually in a really good spot for where he should be for his ACL. And we were gonna take off. We were gonna start from there and just take off from there. And when he walked in that first day, he goes, I don't know what's going on, but his hip's talking to me again. So we got to figure that out before we can go back to the ACL. So that's kind of where today was, right? Today was the first day he's come in. He goes, the hips actually feel really good. I think it's time to refocus back on ACL. And that's kind of what we did. Keeping the hip in mind, right? Because we're not completely out of the woods yet, but out enough where we could test some things today. And that's kind of what I used today for, was a test for him, for me, but also to see how things respond. We're going to go Dan behind you, or Bell behind you. We're going to go into that lizard stretch, lift up. Right, and then you're gonna turn. Let's take like 3 or 4 deep breaths. Hold and come back down. Yeah, you can have I remember there was a team, I think it was Castleton College. They weren't great at basketball, but they played a style that if it worked, they would win by 40. Otherwise, they would lose by 40. They just pressed the entire game. They did 5 in, 5 out. Right, you had 2 minutes, 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out. And again, if they pressured you and that tactic worked, you would lose by 40, but then there was games that you just got smoked by like 60. Soccer's different though, because goals are hard to come by. So we'll go through these twice, and then I'll show you your next ones. I mean, it's all one chain, right? So if the ankle, then the knee, then the hip, and all of them have to work together to get the end result. But with the hip component of this issue, that is extremely problematic, right? Because if the hips are talking to him, that affects his quad strength, which then affects power, which then affects his ability to cut, change direction. Whereas from the ACL specifically, if that's not present, he's cleared to do all that stuff. He's able to do that stuff. It's just this is limiting that. It's not the other way around. His knee's actually in a really good spot, and if anything, he was ahead of the curve come this point in the summer, but then the hip kind of showed up, and that threw us a little bit of a curveball. Yeah, no, you're moving well, which is good. Done there? Yeah. Okay, let me grab one thing. So we took him for a normal warm-up. He went through some hip opener work, right, to keep that kind of at bay. Last time we started figuring out his psoas and his hip flexors were really giving him some problems. So we did a little bit of hip flexor work to start opening up from all different angles, having him shift into different positions just so he feels mobile. From there, we went into a skip series, which a week ago, that same skip series was not even feasible. There was pain, quad felt like it was giving out. He wasn't able to kind of produce the same forces, and today he actually looked really good. He looked like a soccer player, what we want him to look like, right? That's the first time in 3 weeks he's been able to do that, and there's no pain, there's no discomfort, there's no giving out, and he feels like he's able to make it more consistent. So I'm gonna grab a med ball here. I'm gonna have you start at the end there. Essentially what we're gonna do is some lateral bounds, but every time you bound, right, I'm gonna start here, you're gonna bound this way, so right to left, land, I'm gonna throw you the ball, throw back. Throw ball, throw back. I'll pass it, and then you pass back, and then you'll go to here, I pass it, pass back, and we'll just work our way up the turf. Still, I have no idea where you are, so I'm just taking steps back. Good, couple more, I don't know where I am. So cutting, absorption, little power production. Yeah. Ready? Good. back here. Good. Good. So now, we're gonna go forward, back, and I'll toss it to you. Obviously, when we do this, you're going left to right every time. On the way back, we'll switch it. Yep, so big one, like a half jump back. Yes, good. 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 So now we'll switch legs, same thing. From there, I wanted to test the hip out right from the bat, because if that went south, none of the stuff we did today was gonna happen, right? So I had him do a lot of bounding with a little bit of med ball tosses where he had to absorb that force, produce some force, throw it back to me as we're starting to travel a little bit. He can kind of get away with some other stuff if I just keep him static and throw, but the fact that he had to bound and then look for another ball and we're getting a bunch of different things going at once, that to me showed me, all right, this hip is actually doing well, because he was able to do it one, he was able to produce some power, he was able to absorb force, but then he was able to produce force. Right, so now I can test this thing and really start to load him, knowing that he's in a good spot. So we did some lateral bounds, we did some forward and back bounds with the med ball toss throws, and all that kind of cleared up well. Yeah. Gather yourself. Good. So you're gonna stand in the middle of these two, so somewhere in this space here. I'm gonna have you start here. We're gonna come back here. I want you to return. I'm gonna roll you a ball, hit back, right? Come back here, boom, hit back. Okay, so it's always small touches, doesn't have to be anything crazy. I just want you to work on that drop from straight, open up hips, tap, come back, hit. Boom, tap, hit. Okay? Let me just grab the ball. 20 to 30 second bounce. Right? Yep. Good. 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 Yeah, this guy would touch. Good. Couple more. Good. Good. Give me one more of each. One. Good. Little break. So it was on to the next piece now. It's like, let's test this and let's put these pieces together. Now let's go a little bit more live. And we had him do some cone drills with the soccer ball, right? Because I wanted to throw some other things at him. If I can get him to touch the soccer ball, like that's end goal, right? So that keeps him motivating. But two, he needs to know what that impact feels like. Even if it's just a small hit, I need to be 100% confident that hip can take the force absorption of the cuts, be able to take the impact of kicking a ball, and be able to kind of handle that unpredictability of like, all right, which direction is it coming from? How fast is it coming? How slow is it coming? Do I need to change my pace? As soon as we got through some of those cone drills, I was way more confident we could load this thing. So my goal for today, right, I want to get you moving, especially that we're feeling good. I want to test it a little bit, right? So we're going to keep really short ranges, but have you kind of change direction, a little bit of agility work. Then we'll load you. I probably want to do two more things here, just working on footwork, working on just opening up the hips and turning, and then we'll load you in a couple different ways. Okay? Go for it. Good. 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 Yeah. Open the hip more. Yeah, good. There. Two more. One. Two. I'm gonna have you do same thing one more time. When I say open the hip, you did open it, but what I mean is here, right? Because right now you're coming here, you're kind of just like dropping. I want this to be more there. So it's really like a drop, open, then the turn, boom, and I turn back here. So it's like this shift out of here, but here, it's a full open. Again, more in soccer, right? You're gonna have to open this ball up. If you stay close in here, right? there's not much I can do. If I open up and I see the field, right? And sometimes you'll actually let it just go and then play your position that way. I want you to be able to open, but I also want to see it from a hip perspective. When you open up, I can load that hip and turn into that position. Better. Yes. Good. Yep. Yep. Yeah, good. Couple more. Good. You good? Yes. Good. 3 more. 1. 2. Last one. Good. Perfect. See what I mean there, though? It's just that quick there instead of like this. Okay. So obviously, I know you're not going full speed when you're about to do this, but what I want to do is 2 things. First one, I want you to take it easy. I want to go into similar to what we were just doing. You're gonna run far, get to the cone. I want you to open up, boom, here, I'll pass, you hit, jog back. Come back to the second one, it's essentially a suicide, the suicide soccer ball. Why I did that was I want to focus him on putting the pieces back together from an ACL standpoint, but also from a hip standpoint. If the hip can take cutting, planting, opening up, shifting, that's my priority number 1. I don't care about the jog just yet. I don't care about him hitting the ball. I need to be sure that the hip can plant and turn off of that. Because if it can't, and it couldn't last week, that's gonna influence what I choose for strength exercises. But I want you to always come here, plant, open. I don't want you to plant, completely turn around and do that. That makes sense? Right, because we're gonna do it to both directions. And then what we'll do is we'll do the same thing going that way so you can open up left side. That makes sense? Yeah. So we're gonna do that at each cone. So start over with me. We'll jog down, open up, I'll roll you the ball. After you hit, jog back here. Then we'll jog to the second cone, same thing. And then the last one's gonna be a little touch pass here. Whenever you're ready. Good. Yep. Last one, quick touch. Good. Now we'll go back to that. So one series will be down, second, down, third, down. Good. Second cone. Good. Quick turn touch. Good. Far cone. Yep. Good catch. Yep. Good. Last one, quick turn. Good. Now I'll go other side and you'll play it with the other leg. Good. Now we go far. There it is, that's better. Back at you, double tap, look at you. Yep. Good, perfect. Little break, we're gonna do that one more time. Your touch is gonna get better, I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I'm not here to get you better with your touch, I'm here to get you better with the hip, so. Yeah. I could care less where the ball goes. Obviously try to get it with me, but whenever you're ready, you start, I'll roll it out to you. Good. See, when you get a good pass, you hit it well. Good. Good, break. All right, I'm gonna have you, when you're ready, grab a kettlebell. I want you something you feel comfortable with. We're gonna elevate you a little bit. We're gonna go one kettlebell, flip it on the side. We're gonna go opposite side of the leg that's on the box. So we're gonna come up, boom, step, here. Up, okay? So I'm here, kettlebell's wrapped around here. Start low position, so it's gonna be same side. Step opposite, drive up, hold. 1, 2. Step, reverse. Okay? I'll let you choose the weight. I wanna go 6 per side here. Yeah, after we did the cone drills and the sprints, we did a reverse lunge into a step up, right? And the whole thought process behind that, plus the RDL that we did after that, is taking his leg from technically an extended position from the back and bring it into the front, right? We're trying to mimic what a sprint would look like or what a run would look like, where his leg and hip are facing backward, and I need to do a series of things to get it forward. When we run, my leg starts behind, and I pull myself forward. I gotta get extension in the hip. I gotta be strong. My core has to be upright. Both those things mimic that. I had him hold the kettlebell, start in the lunge position, and then from that, take his back leg, step up onto a box, and then hold it for a second or two. We're taking it through that whole sequence as if I'm running, but now loading it. Right? That does two things. One, teaches him how to extend his hip, right, which is going to be crucial to running. From an ACL standpoint, holding the position at the top and doing the step up forces a little bit of load through that leg and just gives him confidence to like, hey, I can put my pressure through this leg. I can control, I can own this position. Step, hold, breathe. Good. Yep. Yep, get up there. Maintain it. I'm gonna start you with no weight for this one. Just get the motion down first. Obviously, we can add weight. We've done this in the past, but it's been a long time, right? With the RDL, now we're just sweeping things up. We're doing the exact same thing, but focusing on different muscle group. The squat to the step is more quad, right? Now I gotta get the hamstring involved. Now I'm going into more RDL, hamstring, glute, and then that pull through has to be from the glute, right? So the end goal and the end result is the same, but what muscles are influenced before that is what changed with those two exercises. All those things have to work together in order to be able to run, in order to be able to change direction, in order to be able to be just agile in nature. Those things have to be taught separate, right? And especially up front when this is the first day we're really back to doing these things. Because if I just threw him into running or I just threw him into doing all these crazy things, you wouldn't be able to put the pieces together. We break it down and then put the pieces together. I'm gonna get you into RDL down to a lift, press, or go the full leg up, press. Okay? Probably gonna need an intermediate step there. Get used to the kind of the flowiness of this, but really try to load that leg, get the hamstring going, and then finish out with that extension of the hip with the glute. Yeah. Bring the shoulder. Yep, and then finish out the top. Good, right there, stop there. Now pull from there. Any more down that you go, your back starts to round a little bit, so I want you to keep it as straight as possible. So go to right there, shoulders, now punch through, good. Coming down, I'm okay with the speed. Coming to shoulders, I'm fine, but then get the punch through, yes, good. This next one, hold it. Press, good, hold, squeeze here, get full extension, get tall. That's where I want you to be, okay? So sometimes I gotta remind myself too, right? And this is just a general reminder to you. We're dealing with two separate things here. The exercise order and the selection, yeah, they're meant to target a certain thing, but we're dealing through two right now. So I'm not expecting it to be perfect. We've been dealing more hip stuff, but the reason you're here is the ACL. The recovery ACL-wise, you were crushing it. That was huge. I wanna get you back there. Okay, so I'm gonna come here, we're gonna go underneath, pop up, and then I want you to focus on staying upright, squeeze up top. We're going 5 seconds on the way down. Control, go to whatever depth you feel comfortable working into. Watch yourself in the mirror so we can correct some of the shifts. Hold it, 1, 2, then drive up quick. So 5 second lower, 2 second hold, start with bar, see how it goes. Ideally, if we can load it, let's load it, but, right, today's day one, it's no ego lifting. Nurture, just let's build some strength, right? Let's get the core involved a little bit more where placement of the bar is, and we added tempo to that. That was a 5 second tempo going down on purpose. One, I put it in front of the mirror so he can see the shift of his hips, right? Which today was actually very minimal, which is a really good sign. A couple reps where I had to put my hand there so he had that feedback, but once he felt it, he was able to change it. That's key, because if you looked at him about a week ago, it was just everything going to one side, right? His walk is different. Even when he walked in here, when he's in pain, like there's a lean to his walk because he's trying to use his hip to kind of help control that because he can't fully extend. So he just leans his back to let the leg go through. This is just, let's load you. Let's see what you can do. And he was able to do it really fine. 2 second hold, yep. I'll count you down, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold it. 1, 2, drive. With that tempo, we're gonna go 5. Okay? So 5-second lower. See where you're at. Actually, you're not shifting much at all. Good. Maybe the slightest shift to the left, but not crazy. What do we think? Can we go up, stay there? Where you at? 10s? Really, I just want to get you back into movement, right? So today is all about that, right? And we probably don't even have that much left, because I got to see how you recover from this. Because you might feel great now, and then tonight you're like, I was fucking miserable for the next 3 weeks, right? I don't want that. So we'll probably do one more thing after this set and then call it to see how we feel. Good. Drive. Nice. See that little shift you're getting, like you're pressing into my hand?
Yeah.
Right?
I felt it, yeah.
So very small, but let's try to minimize. Hold. Good. Yeah, good. Good. Take a break. We'll do one more set then, and then we're gonna finish out with a superset. So far, other than a little bit of like talking, okay?
Yeah.
Good. Good. We know we're gonna feel stuff, right? It's just minimizing how much we have in here, and then also outside.
Keep this here.
Up to you. Can you go up, or you want to?
Yeah, I think I can do it.
Inside more. Last one's here. You can leave that. I'll take care of that. Take a water, whatever you need. We're gonna go down there for the last two. We're gonna do the Copenhagen with the single arm row, but we're gonna superset that, because then I'm gonna have you do a body saw with these. You remember the setup for this? Yep, he had a Copenhagen row with a body saw as a superset. The only reason I threw that in there was I need to get other things strong in addition to building up the knee, in addition to working the hips, but those are big parts of what most people don't train, but lead to a lot of injuries. If that inside of the leg is weak, anytime we cut, anytime that we have to jump, anytime they have to do anything, our legs are gonna move into different positions. They might cave in on us. I need to prevent that. That's from an ACL standpoint, but also from his hip standpoint. I can't have his hips do all these crazy things and expect him to do well. I need him to own those positions. In the body saw, I need to keep the core, right, involved, right? Just because we're doing ACL and hip series doesn't mean the core should just be off per se, right? I need to train that, and I need to make him strong through those positions. I wanna go 10 rows with this with the hold. Good. High, straight, good. We'll do 2 on this side first, and then we'll flip you this side. That way you don't have to go back and forth.
All right.
Keep this high. There. Pull and then pull forward. Good. Don't let it drop. Good. Good. Hips high. Drive. Good. We'll go back to this guy. We'll go back to that, and then we'll flip you. So we're gonna do 4 total, technically. Okay? And then we see the response. How do we feel tomorrow? How do we feel the next day? I see you Saturday, so then if Saturday you're still feeling pretty good, then we can start having a little bit of fun here. Okay. That was as of last week. He was not doing anything he did today. That's the first time in 3 weeks since he's been here that we've been able to do that. And that's what we were doing before he left, which was great. And that's what he was doing on his own. But as soon as he walked in here, they started to talk to him. And like I said, we had to calm that down first before we can get to the straight ACL reconstruction protocols. But then this also, if you stay like this allows me to program a little bit better for you, because it's not going to be as variable depending on the day. We actually know, hey, I'm at 75% of my effort, I can program for that. That's predictable. We like predictable. What we don't want to do is give you a program that every day is like, well, today's a 10, tomorrow's an 8, then it's a 3. Like, that doesn't do us any good, because then we're not going to get the results we're looking for. Yep. Stay high. There, good. And now pull. Good. 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 Body saw, one more, and then we're done. Good. Last ones. So right now he's not practicing, not playing any games, not because this specific pain, but just because of where he's at in the ACL rehab. Going forward, it's going to be tough. Right? Because what I mentioned, he's dealing with two things. As long as the hip stays calm, I can focus on the ACL and we can reintroduce the running. We can introduce force absorption, plyos, all that fun stuff that he's already cleared for. We just haven't been able to because of what the hip's doing. If the hip continues to present, I have to put out that fire first, right? For a couple reasons. One, from a pain standpoint, it's just not going to allow him to do the things we need to do. Two, if there's any type of nerve involvement, that's going to influence my muscle strength, my endurance, and my ability to get in and out of certain positions. So if I just try to push through that pain, I'm not going to get anywhere, right? The nerves are what control those things. If the nerve is irritated, I'm getting maybe 25% of what I could get from that. It's not worth the time to deal with that, right? So I need to put out the hip fire first. Once that's out, or at least calm enough, I can reintroduce more ACL rehab. So I'm hoping here after today, we can get multiple days feeling like we did today and build off the ACL stuff and kind of leave the hip stuff to the side. That will get better. We've done that before. I'm less worried about that. We just needed to calm down enough to reintroduce the stress back into it. All right, Dill, we're locked in. Everything we did is on the board. Done. So now we wait. We'll see how you feel today, tomorrow, Saturday, I see you. We'll keep pushing as long as we feel like this. Right? We don't want variable every day. I need it to be pretty consistent for at least 2 to 3 days before we really get more into this realm. Today was a taste of it, right? We did some cutting, changed direction, a little bit of hitting, and then we loaded you. Let's see how it feels.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nothing really to me stood out today in terms of hey, there's something wrong.
Okay.
I mean, it's getting back into it. A lot of those kind of cobwebs of load, balance on the squat, the shift side to side. Those are all normal things. We'll just have to work it back into it. Okay?
Yeah.
And let me take a look at your program. I'll probably add a couple things and try to put a schedule up there to at least follow. I don't know exactly when your games and stuff are, so feel free to maneuver them as you need to. But
Pull whatever you got up there. Schedule.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Sunday to Saturday, I don't care.
Yep.
I'll work around the game.
Yep.
Game day, I'll still work.
And then what I want you to add in, as long as we feel like this, is start to do some stuff on your own or with a teammate that's also injured to start hitting and passing a little bit.
For sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly,
Oh, you missed. On camera, you missed, dude. Come on.